The Brand X podcast is sponsored by Audio Editing Solutions. Editing your podcast, just not your thing? Go to audioeditingsolutions.com and see how affordable professional audio editing can be. Welcome to another episode of Brand X, the podcast that, I don't even know how to really explain this podcast. It's kind of like stories of our past and news stories that goes on and things that are in our lives. But I guess basically it's things that we find entertaining or interesting that we want to share with our audience. That's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like they get to sit in.
Right.
Because a lot of people always wonder what guys talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Like women, you know what I mean? What do guys
Women don't really care
about?
what guys talk. Well, maybe they do.
No, I think they do a little bit. I just don't think they do it to the intensity that men
do. You care what women talk about?
Sometimes I'm interested.
Okay.
You know when a certain topic comes up, because women kind of play it close to the vest.
I work with people that said women have the strongest union that there ever was. They don't hold meetings.
Yes, that's true. Because they will defend each other to the death.
Right.
They could hate each other, because I've seen this.
Right.
Be like, oh, that bitch. She thinks she's so good. But as soon as that person that they were complaining about's back is up against the wall, they come out of the woodwork and defend her to the death. No matter what.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Where dudes are pretty much, screw him. I don't care. He deserved it.
That's true. Normally, in the beginning of this podcast, we talk about what bothers us and stuff like that. But Deuce came up with this game that I had no idea about. And I like this game so much, and I think it's so entertaining that I want to move this to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the bracket game to the front, and my rant will be after that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do. Through the miracle of editing.
John has his crack ace. I couldn't hold it. Here we go. I'll set it up. As we all know, us guys, especially guys, always have really strong opinions on any given topic.
True.
And guys can always be counted on to have debates and discussions for hours about any given topic,
right,
which I think women find tedious and silly. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, because they're always usually about sports,
we'll argue over
or cars, or movies. Okay, and we'll expend so much time on why Game of Thrones is better than whatever else is out there equivalent to it. Okay. All right. So it's something that is uniquely a guy thing as far as the intensity goes. However, the longest played out debate by us guys has been, in my opinion, and will always be about beautiful women.
Okay.
Okay, it's what we do.
Right.
So I thought about this. So I thought we could run a March Madness type brackets game.
Ooh, I like this.
Okay. Now there are thousands of pretty girls.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, how am I going to do this? So I basically made it relevant somewhat, mostly to you and I.
Okay.
So after I thought about it, I broke it down like this. We're going to run a brackets on the girls and women from when we were growing up and, up until about high school.
Right.
Okay. So this will be stuff that we saw on TV for the most part from the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
All right.
I've got my pen and paper in hand. I'm ready to start writing names.
Okay. Well, I already did this for you. I divided it up into two conferences.
Okay.
The first one is the girl next door kind of type, which would be like a more realistic woman. Okay.
Okay.
And the second conference is the superpowered in action, which would be more on the fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with that, I present the round one elimination of the thrilling 32.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you these now. We got 32 women here. We're going to eliminate and get down to the Sweet 16.
Oh, the Sweet 16. Okay.
Just like March Madness. Okay.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm pretty sure. And I worked on this for a while and I'm pretty sure that everyone on this list, but just in case you might need to pull up a Google image or something and,
okay.
All right. So in the conference one, okay, this will be kind of like the hot mom Okay.
All right.
So these are all you. I'm asking you. These are you. You got to pick between one of these two and give your reasons why.
Okay.
All right. Florence Henderson as Carol Brady.
All right.
Or Shirley Jones as Shirley Partridge from the Partridge Family.
I got to tell you, I've always had a thing for Mrs. Brady. Even back when Mrs. Brady was, and I was just a little tyke, Mrs. Brady was, yeah. And there's nothing, Shirley Jones, very good looking woman, talented, could play an instrument. Right. But I don't know, just seeing her sitting there in her pajamas next to Mike in that bed. There's often been a day where I fantasize that I was Mr. Brady.
not that Mr. Brady could do anything.
Not that Mr. Brady was even interested in that.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah.
Okay, so you're going with Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Right. And I'll tell you right now, even if you had the two of them today because they're both still alive, I'd still take Florence Henderson over.
Yeah, she's still hot.
I would do that.
Yeah, she's sure. All right, so that's from Conference 1.
Okay.
Girl Next Door type. Now we're going to Conference 2. Okay, which is like the superhero kind of fantastic. All right, so now you've got Julie Newmar as Catwoman in the 1966 Batman TV show.
All right.
Or Yvonne Craig as Batgirl from the same TV show.
Oh, that's tough.
Right.
Man, that's tough because both of them are smoking hot women. And both of them had really, the Catwoman.
They both had the tight-fitting cat
Wow.
suit.
That's, that's like number 1 seed and number 2 seed going up against each other.
Right, this is why, believe me, dude, I had to really pare this down. There was a lot of, these were the 32 that I came up with.
I know.
So.
I think your ranking's a little off. I think you should have had something like Catwoman against, I don't know. I'm not.
Well, you'll see, because a lot of these,
if this is tough at round 1, I can't imagine what the next one is. All right, I'm going with, and it's the slightest of margins, I'm going with Catwoman.
Okay, you're going with Julie Newmar as Catwoman. Okay.
God, I hate to see.
Bear with me as I write these down.
Okay.
A lot of these you'll get the gist of it because a lot of these are amongst the same TV show. Okay.
Right.
Now here's one. I think I know where you're going with this one. Okay. Suzanne Summers as Chrissy Snow from Three's Company.
Right.
Or Joyce DeWitt as Janet Wood from Three's Company.
You know what? I've always been a Janet girl.
Really?
I like the short hair. I like the girl next door look.
Wow.
I'm
now,
not
see,
the
I'm
ditzy
I'm a Janet guy myself. So
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were all about.
No, the ditzy blonde thing. Just it's okay for a night, maybe a week, but after a while, that stupidity thing wears thin.
Gets old real fast.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so all right, so between Chrissy Snow and Janet Wood, you are a Janet Wood.
Janet gives me wood, yes.
The actress is Joyce DeWitt.
Joyce DeWitt, yeah.
All right, now here's one. Now you got me thinking, where are you going to go with this one based on the last one? All right, again, same TV show. All right, this is in the Conference 2. Farrah Fawcett as Jill or Jacqueline Smith as Kelly in Charlie's Angels.
God, that's just the same way as Catwoman versus Batgirl, because both of them I like. I'm going to give the edge to Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett.
Only because that was the first nipple I've ever really seen in a poster.
Now, see, I thought you would go that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Suzanne Summers, Joyce DeWitt thing, that threw me, dude. I had to say.
I'm eclectic when it comes to women.
Yeah. Okay, so now we go to, this would be, I guess you would say, the working career girl category.
All right.
Okay. Mary Tyler Moore as Mary Richards in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, or that bitch Marlo Thomas as Anne Marie in That Girl.
That bleeding heart liberal.
Well, just saying. I mean, just because she's a bleeding heart liberal doesn't mean she wasn't hot.
I
mean, if you need to Google some
No,
images,
I know exactly.
I mean,
I don't need that. I mean, they popped right up in the old mind. I know exactly. I'm looking them over. I'm giving them a look over real quick here. This is another tough one. I mean, these are very good brackets. I mean, Mary Tyler Moore, quite the babe. Marlo Thomas, a little darker,
Danny Thomas's daughter.
Danny
She used to
Thomas's
get
daughter?
way overdressed and fly a kite in the opening sequence of the show. But
Yeah.
hey,
I got to go with Marlo Thomas.
all right. Anne Marie takes it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Marlo Thomas. And again, as old as she is still very striking.
Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore, not so much. Kind of hit the wall.
Well, she's got diabetes, so,
I understand. That's a shame. Very lovely woman.
This one I'm not sure if you know because, we'll find out. All right. Barbara Feldon as Agent 99
okay.
in Get Smart.
Got it.
And do you remember the TV show The Avengers, the guy with the cane?
Yes. You know something? I knew where you were going. What's her name?
Diana Rigg as Emma Peel.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God. That's a tough one.
If it was easy.
I understand. Again, the only thing back in the day when I used to watch the show, I just didn't think they gave the woman from the what's her name, the one from the Avengers, that much of a role. But I
Emma
did
Peel.
love Barbara Feldon. I'm going to go Barbara Feldon on that one.
Okay, Barbara Feldon.
These are
Again,
tough. These
very
are tough. Very too hot
Right.
for Agent 99. Well, she was Agent 86.
He was 86. Maxwell Smart.
was 86, right? She was 99.
Agent 86. All right, here's another one. This is a amongst the same TV show, two characters in the same TV show. Lonnie Anderson as Jennifer Marlowe in WKRP in Cincinnati, or Jan Smithers as Bailey Quarters from WKRP. Really?
Bailey Quarters.
Yeah, I'm all about Bailey.
Oh, my God.
She was very, and I think way more attractive.
More attractive.
And personally, I was never into that platinum blonde
Lonnie
thing.
Anderson is like a China doll. You know what I mean? It's just, but Bailey was like the girl next door, hot, really, really hot. That's
Right.
not even, yes, definitely.
Yeah, she was definitely, in my opinion, far more attractive.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Going back to the Fantastic. All right. Carolyn Jones as Morticia Adams.
Ooh, okay.
Or Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily Munster.
Oof.
Now, granted, they were both black and white TV shows.
Now I gotcha.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Morticia.
Okay. Carolyn Jones. Especially when she spoke French.
Oh.
Tish. Gomez would just drop everything and run over there, just lose his mind. All right, out of these, this is the first one that sprang to my mind. This is probably the consummate battle.
It's going to be Ginger versus Marianne.
Exactly, you got it, exactly. Dawn Wells as Marianne or Tina Louise as Ginger.
I was always a Marianne guy. I was always a fan of Marianne.
I'm a Marianne guy, too. All right.
Yeah.
Which I guess goes back to the Janet Wood thing with Three's Company.
No, definitely Marianne.
All right. Dawn Wells edging out Ginger. All right.
I can't even imagine round two, but go ahead.
All right. This one will be interesting because I think both of the, and it's at both the same type of genre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very, very hotly debated amongst men. Women don't know this, but this is always very hotly debated. Barbara Eden as Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie, or Elizabeth Montgomery as Samantha Stevens in Bewitched.
Man, that's going to be tough. Smoking hot. Both of them smoking hot. Two of my favorite shows, just to watch them.
Yeah. Especially the outfits that they would zap into.
Well, yeah, I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara Eden with that, belly dancing outfit. And the ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my God, Elizabeth Montgomery, too. I'm going to go with Elizabeth Montgomery.
Really? Wow.
I'm telling you, in my mind, I flipped a coin.
You shocked me.
Okay. In my mind, I flipped because it's both. For me, it's both. If they were in any other bracket, I would pick both of them because they were probably my two favorite.
I used to, watch Bewitched constantly as a kid.
Me too.
I just loved that show. It just
it was one of my favorites.
I'm an Elizabeth. That was tough for me as well. But Elizabeth Montgomery wound up edging out Barbara Eden,
and that's no knock against.
And that's a tough bracket.
That's no knock against.
No, it's not.
Barbara Eden.
All these women are hot.
My goodness. This is a fantastic game, Deuce, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. This will be, I guess, the redneck bracket.
Ooh.
Donna Douglas as Ellie Mae Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Okay.
Or Catherine Bach as Daisy Duke in The Dukes of Hazzard.
Ellie Mae. Ellie Mae.
Really?
Ellie Mae all the way.
Donna Douglas edging out, the late Donna Douglas edging out Catherine Bach.
Got to pour one out for Donna Douglas.
Yeah. She was in an episode of The Twilight Zone before the Beverly Hillbillies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, very famous episode, but I digress. Okay, going back to Conference 2. Lindsay Wagner as Jamie Summers, the Bionic Woman, against Linda Carter as Wonder Woman.
Oh, my God. Dude, why is they so hard in the beginning?
Well, because they got to come from the same region. Yeah, they got to.
I'm going with Wonder Woman. And I mean, that is so hard to do.
Yeah, they were both. Lindsay Wagner, both women are still incredibly beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they just, but I never miss an episode of Wonder Woman growing up.
Well, that's true. I can imagine. I can see that.
Yeah, it's just like, so Linda Carter edging out Lindsay Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'd like to have a losers bracket. Put the losers against the other ones. That would still be a one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? That might be something to do once we get down to,
Okay.
Yeah, this could go on for years. Okay. All right. Again, same type of category. Okay. Just like we had the first one was against the Bradys and the Partridges. Mm-hmm. We got Maureen McCormick as Marcia Brady or Susan Day as Laura Partridge as the oldest daughter bracket.
Marcia.
Really?
Marcia. Yeah.
You go well for those Brady girls, huh?
Oh, I'll tell you what. It would have been, would have been tougher if you'd had Marcia against Jan.
Well, yeah, that
would have been tough.
But again, like I said, I'm trying.
No, I know what you're trying. No, I understand.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like Susan Day, and then you know what? The Susan Day of L.A. Law kind of ruined it for me. Like,
I never watched that show.
See, when she came back as the uptight lawyer from L.A. Law, I kind of lost my taste. But I've never lost my yearning for Marcia.
Okay. All right. Again, here, this is more in the we saw these on TV, but they were movies first. That's where we got to see them. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie in the original Halloween movie.
Okay.
Or Sigourney Weaver as Ripley in 1979 Alien. Basically, two ass-kicking broads up against incredible odds.
I can't, if I'm going for the movie, if you put it in the context of the movie, I would go one way. But if you go by just the actresses and all their work that they do, I'm going Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, okay, as Laurie.
She's got that little crazy element that, how I love them, little crazy, the little bit of a crazy in a woman.
Yeah, just like, see, that would be tough for me too. I would probably have to go, I don't know. I guess I would probably go with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, that's tough.
That's a real tough one.
Where Sigourney Weaver loses me is when she was in that movie with the one that married Don Johnson and then Antonio Banderas in A Working Girl. What was her name?
Okay.
What was her name? I see her face, her big giant lips. What's her name?
Don Johnson's ex-wife,
right? I can't think of something. I just started with an M. Everybody's yelling at their podcaster or their podcatcher of choice right now.
Yeah. I can't think of it anyway.
I can't think of it.
She's Antonio
Banderas' wife now. Melanie Griffin. Thank you.
That's it. I just got it as you were saying it. Okay. Look at you. Okay. Now these are, this one's from the world of rock and roll. Okay. Stevie Nicks starring as Stevie Nicks in Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
Or Deborah Harry starring as Deborah Harry in Blondie.
Now this is the first stub your toe category. First stub your toe bracket that I've heard of so far. Because to be honest with you, this is like the booby prize.
Okay. We could redefine this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No,
and basically,
they're going to be out the second
these
round.
two because I chose these two because they had the posters more so than any other woman that was in rock and roll
Right.
at the time. And we saw them on MTV a lot.
Now I'm flipping a coin again, and not in a good way.
Who would you suggest then?
Well,
Just to go off on a
two,
tangent.
like Pat Benatar and Joan Jett.
Well, I was always a big Joan Jett guy.
Yeah, see, that would be hard for me because I was a big Pat Benatar guy. Matter of fact, I was like, when she got married to the guitar player, my heart was broken. But let's get back to the Debbie Harry.
Stevie Nicks or
just
Deborah Harry?
Stevie Nicks to me is like pretentious. You know, she's like a hippie. It's,
twirling.
Yeah, she's twirling. I'm not sure if I'm not sure she shaves her armpits. These are the things that are going through my mind. Debbie Harry is like, a flake. I guess if I have my druthers, I got to go with Debbie Harry.
Okay. Blondie, Deborah Harry of Blondie.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one in the Thrilling 32.
Okay.
This is basically who wore it best, specifically a bikini.
Ooh.
And what you got is Raquel Welch in 1 million years BC.
Damn.
With the fur bikini.
It's in my mind. I don't even have to look it up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or you have Ursula Andress as Honey Rider in the first James Bond movie, Dr. No, where she comes up out of the water with the knife strapped to her leg and the white bikini.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn you, Deuce.
Damn you, Deuce. That is a nice bikini, that white bikini. I know. Oh, how do you say no to Raquel Welch? I mean, I don't even know if I'd say no to her now.
Yeah, again, very striking.
Yeah, I got to go with Raquel Welch.
Okay,
that was tough.
Yeah, I tried to make him as tough as
You
possible.
did a very good job.
This is a championship after all, because okay, so we've gone through the Thrilling 32.
Right.
So now we're down to the Sweet 16.
And then what?
And we will go through the Sweet 16 next podcast. So, because Deuce has to redraw brackets.
Right. Now, what we'll do is we'll put on the website, and probably if I can figure out how to get this in social media, we'll put the brackets up now, and we'll put them on Facebook, and so you can take a look. And then, hey, listen, go to Facebook and tell us what you think, and fill out your bracket. And, take a picture of it with your phone. And now Facebook has a way of putting a picture up there. So in the comments, Make out the bracket. All right. Put in your answers, take a picture and put it in the post over Facebook. And you can do that at facebook.com/BrandXpodcast. Because I'm interested in what the other people think. And it's not just for the guys, ladies. Come on, jump on.
And it took me a while to come up with. Once I decided, you know what? Because you and I,
it's a great game, Deuce.
We grew up at the same time, so we have the same reference.
Right.
Okay. So I said, you know what? Let's do it TV primarily.
The one that I really had
even with these 32, I threw out. I mean, this was really tough. I threw out, I think, about another 12 or 13 women that. Just to make the brackets make sense, like Elizabeth Montgomery with Barbara Eden, just like, and it was just, I think this one, I have to give the edge to that one. So just to come to the original 32 was tough.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the other thing is, the only one that really, for me, was the one I had to really go back to the memory bank was Diana Rigg from the Avengers.
Right.
And, don't get me wrong, she still looks amazing today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she's
about those cat suits.
Oh, yeah. And that was the hardest one between Batgirl and Catwoman. That was a tough one too. So they were all really. Now, see, on that
one, I was a Batgirl guy.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I was a Batgirl guy with everybody but Catwoman.
Yeah, it's just like,
you give me Batgirl against Wonder Woman. I'm taking Batgirl.
Yeah, it's just something about purple leather.
Just yeah.
So, but this is what guys do, ladies.
Yes, that's what we do. Well, we used to do like the Mary F. Kill. Oh, let's do a Mary F. Kill. Oh, we got it. This will end the show.
Okay.
So Mary F. Kill. All right, so you got to marry one of them, you got to F one of them, you have to kill one of them. Okay. All right, so let's go with one.
Who are you asking?
You.
Me?
You. This is going to be you.
Ugh.
We're going to go Wonder Woman. We're going to go Batgirl. And we're going to go with the one who was against Wonder Woman in the bracket.
Lindsay Wagner.
Bionic Woman. Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, and Batgirl. Mary F. Kill.
I guess I have to kill the Bionic Woman.
Good luck with that.
Which would be pretty tough to do. I got to get Steve Austin to help me out with that. It's like, yeah. So I just it's going to be between Linda Carter and Yvonne Craig as Batgirl. Damn.
Not so easy when the shoe's on the other foot, huh?
I guess I'm going to have to marry Yvonne Craig.
Look at you. I would never have thought that. I thought you were going to be taking Linda Carter.
Yeah, I just have to go with the I just got to go with the Batgirl.
Okay.
That's who I'm marrying.
All right.
So
and then you're throwing a shot at Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, like that'll happen.
It could happen.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just and not that I want to kill the Bionic Woman, but
I can see it now.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm gonna have to marry Batgirl.
I can see it now. You come in the room, Deuce. What the hell happened to you? I had to kill the Bionic Woman. You think that was easy?
She heard me coming a mile away. Okay, so we've gone through the thrilling 32, and next podcast we will pick this right up with the sweet 16.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I'm glad you liked it.
I did. That was great. I really appreciate that. That was a great little game you pulled out of your hat there, young man. Look at you getting this podcast thing down, bringing the content. I might have to cut out like 30 minutes of my rant just so we can get to this quicker.
Well, it was a great rant too, so and very relevant. So
you know
what else you got going?
Let me just say this. I think what we should do right now is we should do this. We should say, normally in the beginning of this podcast, we talk about what bothers us and stuff like that. But Deuce came up with this game that I had no idea about, and I like this game so much, and I think it's so entertaining that I want to move this to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the bracket game to the front. And my rant will be after that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do. Through the miracle of editing.
John has his crack ace. I couldn't hold it. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I did. I think this is going to be great. And like I said, listeners, if you like this, let us know. Go to the Facebook page, Facebook.com/BrandX Podcast, and tell us what your brackets would be. Just write them down and let us know. So anyhow, I'm about as hot as a $2 pistol. I cannot. I got to tell you, we live in New Jersey, and like a cat that shit on the rug, New Jersey lawmakers passed a 23 cents a gallon gas tax hike. So They're taxing every gallon of gas 23 cents, which is over 10% of the purchase price. But it's over 10% because they were already getting 14.5 cents a gallon.
Yes.
So they over doubled the tax. And, by the way, that's set to go into effect Friday, right before the 4th of July weekend when everybody's out traveling and trying to do something. So
yes, that's correct.
Right. So basically that's going to add, I don't know, another $4 a tank full, maybe $3 to $6 a tank full. Exactly. And everybody's like, well, what are you crying about? It's only $3 to $6 for a tank full of gas. Is that really that big of a deal? Well, you know what? Well, when someone over in the Middle East gets a hair up their backside and this price goes up another, $2 a gallon or something, we're almost $4 a gallon like we were a couple years ago, then that 23 cents is going to make a big difference.
Yep.
And then the other thing is that donut-eating piece of shit, Governor Chris Christie, who I was backing him for president, but after this nonsense, he could kiss my fat white ass. Let me just tell you something about this piece of shit. All right, so now he's like, oh, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to raise the price, but we're going to lower the sales tax 1%. So it's going to go from 7 to 6. Oh, so Friday, when you raise the tax, the sales tax is going to come down 1%, right?
No.
No. We're going to phase that in over several years. Several years. Takes them several years to go down 1%. So what are they going to do? 6.75%? How are you going to do 6.75% tax?
Right. Well, they could do it because there's some states that I used to do business in that had like a 5.5% sales tax, a 5.25%. They can do it, but it's stupid.
Right. How do you calculate
And the
that?
thing is with New Jersey, because I'm really familiar with tax increases in the business that I used to be in regarding the cigarette tax. Every pack of cigarettes has a tax stamp on it.
Right.
And when they would do that, they always phase it in immediately because what they're doing is they're going to tax the product that's already out there because the tax has already been. I'm not defending it, but this is how it works. They've already taxed every gallon of gas out there at 14 cents a gallon.
Right.
Before that stuff gets sold, they're going to put that tax on top of it because
So
it's
we're
a
getting
win.
14 and another 23
Right.
on top.
They raised it from 14 and increased it an additional 28%. 28 cents, is that how they did it? 23 cents.
Right.
Okay.
So we've already, so instead of just putting on what we have now, the whatever how many cents it is to make it 37 cents
it'll be now.
Right, it'll be 37 cents total.
Okay.
But they've already taxed it at 14 cents.
Right.
So now they're going to put the 37 on top of that.
Well, no. Wait.
The 23.
Let me see if I'm understanding this correctly. We are paying
sons
14
of bitches.
cents?
They should wear a mask and carry a gun, and we vote for them. We do this, people. And you know what? I know this is we're crying about New Jersey and people in California don't really care, and all. But it's not just here; it's in your state too. Somebody over there in your state has got your taxpayer ass bent over a chair and is giving it to you from behind, and we're like, because what do we care? Because we're too busy working to pay for this shit.
Right.
And they're sitting there, and they're like, well, instead of trying to fix the problem, okay, which is the cronyism, the jobs that they have, the mismanagement of the state and every department the state has, instead of fixing that and running it like a business, no, they're just going to come over and suck right up to the teat of the taxpayer and draw some more.
And their excuse for this, because they've been trying to do this for quite a while in New Jersey, was that historically we've always had, and we have the lowest taxes on gasoline.
Yeah, I like that. It was the only redeeming part of this armpit of a state was the fact that we had lower gas prices, and we didn't have to pump it ourselves.
That's it. That's what I like about it. I don't have to pump my own gas.
Right. We don't have to get out and pump your own gas and smell like gas for the rest of the day.
But the other issue is that was their excuse. Well, we've always had these low taxes per gallon on gasoline. And the reason this is really coming up strong indirectly is because is what's known as the law of unintended consequences. And what that is, when they set these tax rates decades ago, what do you think the average car was getting mileage-wise? How many miles per gallon of gas?
Well, if 12. You're going back to the 70s, before the first.
This is the problem. This is why a lot of states are doing this with the gasoline. Some states have an even worse plan than New Jersey, which I'll tell you about in a second. But now we've got all these vehicles that are getting into their 30s, some of them even into their 40s miles per gallon.
Not me. My truck gets 13 miles at a gallon.
Right, but notwithstanding that, John, it's just on average, you got Toyota Priuses out there. You've got all these. Trucks are a different animal because you buy a truck, you're not going to get great gas mileage. But what happened is... I buy a truck
because I fit in it. But I digress. Go ahead.
You do. But how many trucks? There's more cars on the road than there are trucks.
If I had to get into a Prius, I would have to put both arms out of each window.
Right. But what I'm saying is, after decades of the federal government putting a gun to the head of car manufacturers saying you have to get better gas mileage... That hurt both the federal government and the states because now people are buying less gasoline and the states are collecting less money. So what the answer is, that's why they say, well, our roads are falling apart because they're not getting the tax that they used to get. Now, what some states are doing, and I would rather pay myself, this is me, I would rather pay the higher gas per gallon because at least I'm paying for what I'm using.
You think that they're just going to take that tax and use it for the roads?
No, they're not.
They're not. They're going to use this to patch everything else that they're.
Hear me out.
Stupid state. Wait, I'm not done.
Yes, you are.
Everything that this stupid state has been doing, bleeding money into the pension fund. Atlantic City down the tubes. Casinos licensed to print money. They can't make money at it, and now they're going to take and take the gas tax and then run at it, and we're sitting here like sheep. Sheep. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Would you rather pay?
No.
A higher. Now, here's what your choices are depending on the state you live in. Would you rather pay a higher tax per gallon on the gasoline that you're buying, or would you rather have them affix a transmitter to your car and then they track all of your movements and then they tax you per mile driven?
You know what? I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, because it would make it better for me, is I would take the second. Go ahead. Put something on my car. And then, because I don't drive, I hardly drive that far.
Okay, so you, who are always screaming about privacy, are willing to give up your privacy to have a GPS transponder put on there so they can assess a tax on you per mile driven, no matter where you go.
Well, I understand your point about the privacy. But what I'm saying is that I don't drive that much. So it would be cheaper for me to do. I don't have a long commute to work. I don't drive all over the place. So yes, for me, but I guess someone like out in California where their commutes are always long and, and for other people that live further away from where they work. I mean, when I was in the elevator business, I was on the road all day.
Right. And the other aspect is, and I don't know how other states address this because now you've got this tracker on there.
Right.
All right. Your state.
I'm sure they'll just be tracking you for the tax. They won't look into anything else.
Well,
now
exactly.
They have that information.
But what happened? My question is, what happens when you cross over state lines? Okay. What's to say an accident occurs in the programming? You're driving through, let's say, I'm just going to pick out a state because I don't know. You're driving around in Nebraska.
Right.
And they're assessing you a tax per mile driven.
Right.
Now you cross over into another state that does not collect the tax that way.
Right.
They do it on gasoline. Now, is it fair to say that you could possibly be paying double the tax because Nebraska is willy-nilly taxing you while you're driving in another state, and that state is collecting tax money off you when you buy gasoline there?
Right.
So what's the answer? I don't know how that's done or how that's addressed, but I'm sure there's problems with that.
The answer is to stop doing things and taking all the money, the billions of dollars that this state takes in taxes, and stop wasting it. Stop wasting it. For the love of everything holy.
Yeah, but New York has an even worse gasoline tax structure than we do.
But I mean, how long? How long are we as people going to do this?
Well,
how long are we going to allow this to go on for before we finally say enough?
Because you'll forget. And they know that.
Oh, I ain't forgetting.
No, they forget. People forget. People get mad. People get glad. It's just the way it is.
23 cents. Friday, in 3 days now, the gas is going from, what is it here, $2? Oh, everybody's like, oh, only $2. What are you crying about? Mm-hmm. You know what I got to say to that?
Okay, good. You.
That's what I got to say to that. That's right. Our gas over here is like $2.01, maybe $2.04 a gallon. And now
at this time.
Right. And on Friday, it's going to be $2.24. Yeah, $2.24, $2.25, whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to be okay with that because guess what? Over the next couple of years, they're going to reduce the income tax from 7% to 6%.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
I mean, cut me a break.
Now, what is this money supposed to go toward? Is it once again going toward the children?
No, it's supposed to go. Here's basically from what they're saying is the money that they have for fixing the roads, fixing the bridges, and all that. They're out of money. Guess when they're going to run out of money? Guess when?
Pretty soon.
Friday.
Right.
So immediately, they're going to collect $850 million to fix the roads.
And then they'll overspend to repair the roads like that road up in the what's it cost? Did you see that story?
No. You'll give me a heart attack if you give me any more news like this.
Well, seeing that you're already pissed off, let me just throw some fuel into that fire. Just bear with me. Go ahead. You continue to rant while I look this up.
Good day, sir.
I mean, that's all we get. That's all we get is more taxes, more up your rear end. And in this state, I tell you what, this state's got it down in cronyism. This is what you do in this state. In this state, the best thing for you to do when you get out of high school is get a job in the township that you belong in. All right. And then what you do there is you work for 20 years. And then after the 20 years, you can retire with full pension. All right. And then since you've made all these friends because you've been backing all these cronies and all this political stuff, then what you do is you go to the county and the county gives you a job. And then you collect your pension from the municipality and you work for a state or a county job. And then you work 20 years there. All right. Now you're 40 something. All right. You retire from that job. And now you go get a state job. Now you're collecting two pensions, two taxpayer funded pensions. Oh, and by the way, you will get your whatchamacallit, your benefits, your medical benefits paid for in your pension, the first one. So the second one, guess what? You get benefits there too. Oh, but you already have them? Oh, that's okay. We'll give you the $5,000 a year it costs for that benefit. We'll put that right in your paycheck. And then you do it 3 times and you leave and then what happens is now you've got 3 pensions, okay? 3 pensions from the municipality, from the county, and from the state. Then you get all that and you pack up and move to South Carolina where the taxes are cheaper and you don't have to pay taxes.
Here you go. I found this out.
I'm bracing myself.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of stories like this, but this is the one that I could pull up the easiest. What do you think? Now, this study is from 2013, and that's pretty much how long they've been trying to get this tax increase in Jersey. What do you think the national average is to pave 1 mile of road? Okay, per mile on highway and bridges, and these numbers are from 2009. So again, it's quite dated, but you'll get the idea. So here's the paragraph.
I'm going high. I'm going to say.
Let me read this paragraph. Okay. Let me read this sentence, and then you think about it. Okay, per mile on highways and bridges in 2009, the national average was what? To pave a mile of road.
I'm going to say $5,000.
Well, you're ridiculously low, but I like that number that you're throwing out.
Okay.
Think about it. You got workers, you got machines.
I just went with diesel. I was going to say 1,000. I said that's ridiculous. I say 5,000. 5,000 per mile. Okay. All right. That's $50,000. $50,000 per mile.
All right. You're getting closer. Here's what it was. Okay. Well, here's what it was. Every other state except New Jersey.
All right.
It's $144,533 per mile. Now, when you think about that, they've got to excavate. They got to haul dirt away. They got to put in sewage. They got to put in gas lines. And
did you say repave or build a new road?
That's to build a road.
Oh, build a road. I thought we were just repaving.
Okay,
That's all right.
Didn't make that clear. All right.
Okay, so 100,000. That sounds okay. Okay. Okay.
$144,533.
That doesn't sound too bad because there's a lot of work to do on that.
All right. Now, in the Garden State, what do you think it is?
I'm going to say it's $250,000.
Well, that would be an incredible bargain for us because it's actually $1,221,403 per mile. On highways and bridges in New Jersey.
I'll tell you what. Okay, so now I'm the governor of New Jersey. All right, so oh my God.
Just to add that, New Jersey.
I'm the governor of New Jersey.
New Jersey spends 8.4 times more than the national per mile average.
All right, so the first thing I say is, you know what we're paying, guys? We're paying $250,000 per mile of road. You want the work? Come get it. If you don't want the work, I'll find somebody else. I guarantee you they would line up for $250,000 per mile. But we're paying how much?
$1,221,403, and that was in 2009.
That's
now it's more than that now.
It's 10 times the national average, almost
8.4 times more than the national per mile.
Oh my God!
Right, and then they went, and then people don't care. People, and you're talking about you've got a truck. Granted, your truck gets less mileage than my car, so you're going to pay at this disproportionately higher tax than me. But what goes on now in the summertime? Well, like we discussed last week, when you and your dad were water skiing, what's more expensive than boat fuel?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the other thing. Because if you think gas is expensive on the road, pull up to a marine dock and try to put gas. You might as well just throw your wallet on the deck and put your hands up.
Yeah, you got to float a loan out.
Right. It's ridiculous how much it was. So what we used to do, and they used to have a fit. What we would do is we had, my dad, Mr. Invention, he would have like a 20-gallon can that we had on wheels. And what we would do is he would have that and it would fill it with gas and we'd roll down on the dock. And because it was higher, so what he would do is we had another can that was air pressure. So what he would do is he'd push air pressure in there, and that would pump the gas into the thing. They had a fit. You can't do that. Why not? Well, you have to buy marine gas. Why? Gas is gas. And then, of course, now I know that Jimmy, who's listening to this, would say, well, you know what? Well, diesel, they got to pay taxes over the road. And then if I was going to use it on the kerosene heater or whatever, I don't have to pay that tax. Well, okay, fine. All right. But what I'm saying is that it's ridiculous. This whole tax and spend system is ridiculous. Right. And the people and here's the thing, that people that are paying for all of this, we have no idea, nor do we care, nor do we want to care. Because if we ever decided one day to look at this and really dig into this, we would lose our effing minds.
Right. And the reason most people are upset about this is quite obvious. Everybody uses gas directly or indirectly because this is going to increase the cost of your food getting trucked into the supermarkets. So
well, no. Don't you think that the supermarkets are going to absorb this tax? They're not going to pass it on to the consumers, do you think?
Well, that's how it always goes. The customer, corporations, you got some presidential candidates running out, and they're going to make corporations pay their fair share. Okay, you always hear that.
Right.
Corporations don't pay the tax.
They don't.
The corporations pass it on down to you and me.
That's right. They pay dick and bubble gum, and they're all out of bubble gum.
That's who pays. Because that's how it's going to work. They're going to pass the tax on. That's just basic economics. An interesting thing, I don't know if you know this, because, my old business, primarily, I was in the tobacco industry, and whenever they raised the tax on cigarettes, those cigarettes were bought and paid for, the taxes paid. And if they said, effective January 2nd, the tax is now this. Do you know, because of the volume of cigarettes that I sold, I arrived at work at 5:30 in the morning, unlocked the door at 6 to do business, and there was a guy from the state out there waiting there.
Get out of town.
And he came from the Division of Taxation. I already submitted the paperwork. I was done. He came in and he counted all my cigarettes. Yeah. And then let me see your paperwork. And I showed him, okay, this is on the up and up. You paid the proper tax. He came back about 9 or 10 hours later.
Right.
And he recounted all my inventory, expecting to find more, because that's what people from another land like to do. They would take the cigarettes out of their store and hide it. And then they would bring the cigarettes back in, so they would be trying, and the state's not stupid. No state is stupid. When it comes to raising money and collecting a tax, states are geniuses.
Yeah,
they've got it down
pat.
And this is why, I had to pay $1,700 this one tax that that's what put me out of business eventually, because everyone in New Jersey went to Delaware and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I sold my store. I laid 3 people off. There's 3 people that lost their jobs, but they, look at this tax we're collecting. Well, they wound up, as far as tobacco goes in New Jersey, they collect less tax now because New Jersey's a small state. You can get out of it quickly.
Yeah, it takes you can be in Delaware in 20 minutes. You can be in Pennsylvania in 15 minutes.
Yeah, unless you're on the tip of Cape May, in which case you could take the ferry to Delaware. It would take you a long time to get out. That would be the longest time it would take you to drive out of New Jersey. It's probably from Cape May or just outside of New York City. But, these taxes that they do, Philadelphia just did the same thing with the soda tax and the cigarette tax.
Yeah.
Now, how much soda are they going to spend in Philadelphia? Oh, look, there's Bucks County. Oh, there's Delaware County. They'll just cross the county line.
Sure, and they'll go get their soda over there.
Right. And they've been doing that. Philadelphia put a $2 per pack tax just on cigarettes, last year, I think. And now if you step down the street or get on a bus out of Philadelphia, you're going to pay $2 less per pack. Now, no one gets upset about this because it's tobacco, and I understand that. And that's why a lot of people are upset about the gasoline tax, because it's going to affect everybody.
Right. I'm befuddled. I mean, when are we going to start throwing these people out of office and saying that's the only thing that's going to make it stop? It is the only thing that's going to make it stop.
Well, everyone has to stay angry till next year,
right.
Next November, because New Jersey has off-year elections. Our next election is in 2017, and by then, people will have forgotten. And
what
that's
do you mean
why
it's
they
an off year?
Pass votes when they do.
What do you mean it's an off year? We have an election this.
We have a presidential election.
Right.
New Jersey and Virginia have what is known as off-year elections. So we vote for our governor, our Senate, and our assembly the year after a presidential election. So
they have a whole year for us to get used to this.
And you'll forget.
Them scum-sucking pigs.
And that's how they work.
Them thieving leeches.
Mm-hmm.
God. Again.
And this is why people... I mean, this is probably very boring to everybody else in the country. But
I mean,
what
it's
they
just,
don't talk about...
whether it's New Jersey or Chicago or Florida or wherever...
No,
they're doing it just a different way. They're just sticking up your ass a different way.
What I'm saying is this aspect is probably of no interest to anyone else in the country, but New Jersey is losing more people every year than any other state. New York and New Jersey, people are hemorrhaging out of these states because you can't afford to live. When you retire, you can't live here. You will exist here. Dude. Unless you did very, very well with your career choice. And if you did do very, very well with your career choice, you want to keep your money. What a surprise. You're going to move south.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm about ready to pack up this show and move to Delaware. It's 12 miles away. Right. It's 12 miles away. The taxes are half.
Well, the property taxes are half.
Well, I mean, there's no sales tax.
Right. But they make that money up somewhere. And Delaware, from my recollection, has a higher personal income tax than New Jersey does.
Okay, fine. I'll take that. For me, it's not going to be that much of an effect.
Right. But for businesses
and stuff, that's a different story. But then again, guess what?
Delaware's a very business-friendly state also, and that's why a lot of businesses relocate there out of New Jersey.
Right. So I'll go over there, I'll get a place. I can do everything I do here, and it won't cost me half as much money. Much money.
Not at all. I mean, I pay a lot of money on property taxes here. Mm-hmm. Okay, and in North Jersey, it's even worse. All right, but you've been to my house, okay,
right,
and you can imagine what I'm paying here. But I'm just going to throw just to show using. Well, I might as well just say it. I'm paying about $9,000 a year in property taxes.
Right.
If you were to magically pick my house up and drop it in Middletown, Delaware, or Baird, Delaware, I'd be paying about $2,500.
Right.
Now, how do these other states do that and this state can't?
I told you why.
Well, they're thieves.
Yeah, they're thieves. It's just a big, giant circle jerk, and we're the pivot guy.
One time when I was in Delaware working with my last job, I was a regional sales manager. I covered 4 states. So I would travel through West Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and South Jersey only because I lived here. So the company I worked for, altered the territory for me, which was very nice of them. So I was working in Delaware one day, and a guy down there was complaining about his taxes. I said, I'll pay your taxes sight unseen. If you want to pay mine, I'll trade you right now. Oh, you don't want to pay my taxes, son? No, sure, right now, sight unseen. I'm serious as a heart attack. Let's swap taxes. And now the guy's getting like a little hesitant. He's like, oh, I don't know. Well, what do you pay a year? And at the time, it was less than what I'm paying now. So I'm paying $7,500 a year. Oh my God. Well, you must have a farm. What do you got? About 25 acres? Nah, quarter acre. 75 feet by 125. That's ridiculous. Where do you live at? Well, I live in New Jersey. I had no idea. But that answers a question for me. And I said to him, what's that? Well, I was always wondering why all my new neighbors always seem to come from New Jersey.
Yep. There you go.
That's it. He broke the code.
Sorry for the rant, but I just this nonsense with it. Just they just stuff it up your backside every other day. It's something else. They have no administration ability, no way of reducing the size of anything, no way of being more efficient. No, nothing. All they know is back to the trough to get more money. That's all they know.
By the way, that's trough.
Whatever. Trough. That's what I thought I was saying. What did I say?
Trough.
That's the South Jersey accent. Trough. What did I say? Back to the trough.
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 Like fire truck. Trough.
Well, whatever. Now,
with an F sound.
Okay. Good God.
So it's cute.
That's the least of my worries.
Yeah, you're going to be paying more for gas.
Yeah, it's
out of curiosity, what does it cost to fill up your truck? Because trucks generally have huge gas tanks.
All right, so back when gas was like outrageous, it was almost $4 a gallon and everything. It would cost me close to over $75 a tank full. Mm-hmm. All right, now I can fill my tank full. I can fill my tank up for about $40.
Okay, how many gallons is that?
20. It's a 20-gallon tank.
20.
All right, so I can fill my tank up for about $40.
So it's going to cost you $4.60 more.
Yeah.
Per fill up. And you're driving a truck, so it's fair to say you're probably getting gas as many times as 3 times a week.
Well, I don't drive that much. I mean,
but if you did in your old,
yeah.
How many times did you fill up when you were working for the elevator? You drove vans, trucks?
Yeah, I drove vans. I would fill up
quite often,
twice a week. But those tanks were bigger tanks. They were more like almost 30-gallon tanks.
Right, but they needed it because they were doing the
exactly.
driving. But that's the point. That's who's really going to take it in the shorts.
Right.
Is as bad as we're going to take it, businesses that have fleets of vehicles are
and nothing
really
ever goes down. Remember when the price of gas went up, everybody put a tax surcharge on their bill. Oh, tax because of the gas, we have to give you a tax surcharge.
Right, it never goes away.
Never went away.
No.
What did I see something the other day? A bill came in and it had a gas surtax, and I said I'm not paying that. And they go, why? I said because gas is half the price of what it was when you had that surtax. I could see it when it was $4 a gallon. It's $2. I'm not paying it. Take it off the bill.
I don't know if you remember that because you'd have to go way back. I just remember
they took that right off the bill. Whoop, gone.
Well, for you, they did. Well, when you deal with monopolies like power companies,
right.
Back in the day when we were having the energy crisis in the country,
right,
and in the 70s, gas and oil was through the roof.
Yeah,
and there was a surcharge, and there was a little paragraph disclaimer on there. Due to the high cost of fuel, it costs more to generate electricity, and that is why your electric bill went up. Real nice printed fancy letter. All right, well that was at $74.75. All right, set the Wayback Machine Sherman to about 1980-81 when gas plummeted.
Right,
that surcharge never went away.
No,
because you got used to paying it.
Right. Well, back in 70, okay, so my father opened up a gas station, I think in 1972. 70?
So gas was about 29 cents a gallon.
69 or 70. Yeah. Yeah, right. And at 12 years old, back then, it wasn't a big deal. I used to pump gas. I used to go out there and pump gas. I was my first job, pumping gas. So when that whole thing went on with the oil embargo and gas,
that would have been in 74, 75.
Right. So what happened was you had a flag system, red, green, and yellow.
Right.
All right. So
in Jersey, they had that.
Right. And so what happens is when there was a red flag, you'd put a red flag and say, okay, that's it. And what you would do was you have one of those magnetic signs, and you would go to the back of the line, and you would say, okay, this is the last car, no other cars, beyond that. And then what the people would do is they would pull up to that car, and they'd get out and they'd grab the sign and they'd put it on the back of their car. And another guy would grab the sign and put it on the back of their car. So one of my jobs was to, when my dad would say, okay, go put this on the car, tell me what it was, and get the license plate. And I'd say, okay. So then all of a sudden that car would pull up, and you'd see there's like 20 cars behind there. And my dad would go back to the back of the car, pull the thing, and say, sorry, guys, we're out. We're done. That's it. And the guy's like, well, no, it says right here. And my dad says, no. I put it on that car, and you guys decided to put it on your own cars.
Right.
So that's the end of that. But, I mean, it got nasty.
Oh, it was tough. See, we were talking about this in the break room, and you become how much older you are than other people you work with, because they look at you like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And we were talking about this, and they said, oh, yeah, I heard it was odd and even days. I said, well, yeah, That's only part of it. If your license plate started with an odd number, you got gas on odd numbered days. So June 1st, June 3rd, June 7th, that was your day. And if you had an even number, you went out on the even days. But the flags, like you talk about, not too many people remember the flags. And the red flag meant that's it, we're done. And
we have no more gas.
Sometimes they had a big red flag that they hung right outside the gas station. But basically what it meant was red flags meant no gas.
Right.
A green flag meant you could fill your tank up.
Right, yellow flag meant...
And a yellow flag meant you could get up to like $5 of gas or $10 of gas, whatever the dollar amount was. So you couldn't get a full tank of gas, but at least you could get some gas.
And then when the gas went over $1 a gallon,
oh yeah,
they ever had to change the pumps because no one
had
ever...
to recalibrate them.
No one ever thought that gas would ever get over $1 a gallon, so it only went up to 99.9.
Exactly.
So,
and here's something no one ever, when you explain this to people that were born in the last 30 years or so, or 35 years, when we were kids, you and I, or we were kids when our fathers were driving, when you rolled up into a gas station and you said to the gas station attendant, give me 10, you were telling him to put 10 gallons of gas in your car because there was no car in the world that could hold $10 worth of gas.
That's not true.
It would be spilling out all over the place.
That's not true. There was some Cadillacs and some Lincolns that that had 40-gallon tanks. And you could get, I remember one time I was like, holy cow, I just put $20 worth of gas in that car. It was bone empty, and I got it was like the most I ever put in a car was $20 worth of gas. Not 20 gallons, $20. So I guess gas was probably around 50 cents a gallon then. So
right. But I mean, I'm talking when we were like really young. When we were
cents. Right.
I'm talking like in the 60s, like 68, 69. You either told the guy to fill it up or you told him how many gallons you wanted. You didn't shoot out a dollar amount.
Well, I remember my mom going in and getting like $2 worth of gas, and it would give her half a tank. It would give her half a tank of gas.
Remember when we were kids, we would one of the guys would always get a car first,
right?
And we would all pool our money, like, oh, here's 80 cents, I got $1, and you would go in there to a gas station and you would say, yeah, give me $7 worth of gas because there's like 4 or 5 of you in the car. And we drove around all night on $7 worth of gas. Yeah. It was just the way it was.
It would fill the tank. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. It was like, this is awesome.
So, So now, when they finally, so now like gas went up to, let's say it was $1.20 a gallon. So then the pump would say 60 cents. And so you'd put, if you wanted $20 worth of gas, you'd put $10 on the pump. And it would always say times two where the thing was. So if you wanted to put $20 in the car, you would only put $10 on the pump. Yeah. And again,
they used to give free stuff out at the gas stations.
Mugs, glassware, plates. You could go into I, as working at the pumps, I wanted to get your hood open because I wanted to check your oil. I wanted to look at your belts because back then, we were also a repair,
Right.
So I wanted to look to see if your belts were worn. I wanted to see how your hoses looked. I wanted to look at your oil. Oh my God, look
your
how
coolant level.
Yeah, look how dirty your oil is. We used to fill the batteries. You used to take the cap off and put water in the battery. You would take the cap off and you have this little black thing, and when you push it down, and when you stop feeling the bubbles, you'd pull it out, and that was at that level, at the proper level. You used to do all that
condensers.
Stuff. Oh my God, yeah, all that stuff. When was the last time you had a tune-up?
Cars were carbureted back then.
Yeah, but nowadays. You pull into like a gas station while we have Wawas or Sheets or any of those and ask them to check your oil. They're like, we don't do that.
No, they hang signs up saying we're not doing that.
Yeah, we don't check oil.
Yeah, you'll get gas here and like it.
That's it. Check your own oil. Try to buy oil you got to go inside to get oil. I mean, it's not out at the pumps anymore. It's ridiculous.
Well, if they have it, because I might be wrong because it's not something that I look for when I go into a Wawa.
It's up at the front near the window. There's.
Do they sell oil in the store?
Yes, they do.
Okay, see, I never look for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be stacked up in the cans outside in the cabinet.
Yeah. Used to carry them out. Right. Carry out the tooth and one. Every pump had a thing of oil.
Here you go. Here's something. Free road maps.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Remember I told you I got the shit knocked out of me by Genghis in Disney World. Well, in '72 we drove to Florida.
Right.
Disney World just opened that year, and we're driving down in every state that as soon as we crossed over the border and we got gas, we took 3 cars down. Every one of those cars got a free road map of that state.
Right, because you needed it
So
in every state.
So when we came back by the time the trip was done, we had a road map of, from Virginia to Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida.
Right.
That's what they gave you. Oh, here, you need a map? No problem.
Right. Or
S&H green stamps.
Or,
all that stuff.
Working for my dad, there was two things you never did. Like, you never pulled up to the gas pumps, made the guy walk out, and then just asked him for directions. Like, in other words, if you wanted directions, and you were getting gas, and you said, hey, how do I get to so-and-so? I would tell you how to get to so-and-so. But if you pulled up, and then I walk out there, and you go, oh, by the way, how do I get to so-and-so? You're going the wrong way. And depends on how ignorant you are, is how far you're going the wrong way. So where there was a highway, it was right next to the gas station that I worked at. And the guy pulls, it's raining. Guy pulls up. I'm wiping my hands off because I'm doing something, some kind of repair. I'm wiping my hands off. The guy beeps the horn. So I'm already pissed. So I walk out there in the rain, and I go, can I help you? And he goes, yeah, how do you get to 295 South? Now, 295 South is about 100 feet from the driveway of the gas station. So all you do is go out the driveway, make a right, go 100 feet, and there's the ramp. The guy goes, how do you get to 295 South? I said, oh, that's no problem. I said, you went too far. Turn around, go back up 4 red lights, make a left. Now I want you to go 3 more red lights and make another left. All right. I sent him to 295, all right. 295 South, but I sent him to 295 South all the way back in like
Deptford or Thoroughfare or something.
Nothing, Collingswood. Like, I mean, I sent him all the way up to there, like all the way over to Route 30. That son of a...
Where was your dad's station at?
It was, well, they tore it down now because they widened the road at $2-something million a foot. It was right on the corner. It was basically right by on Delaware Avenue.
What town?
In West Defford, right here in West Defford.
Okay.
So, yeah. So then I was like, I guess I was like 16 or 17 or something when I was doing that kind of stuff. They'd come in and beep, and I'd send it. And one guy comes back and goes, you sent me the wrong way. I said, oh, you wanted the right directions. Next time you want the right directions, you pull up off to the side, you get out, you walk up, and you say, sir, can you tell me how to get to somewhere? You don't pull up to the pumps, not buy a thing, and ask me what directions are. Because then you'll get the wrong directions.
Well, I used to get that all the time. I mean, I gave directions, but it really didn't. I was in the store anyway. People would like pull up into my store, and then they would run in, and they would ask for directions.
Yeah, they didn't have you come out.
Sometimes if I was busy, I would say, hold on, and I would wait on all my paying customers first. Right. And then if they hung in there that long, all right, I'll tell you how to get there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
One time, we had lottery tickets. So, I don't know if you play the lottery. And, you have the board up there where you write the winning numbers down. Right. So people would come in, and people ask the stupidest questions in the magic of retail, I call it. So one time this guy came in, and he's got his tickets in his hand, and he's looking at the board. We wrote the numbers down. And he says, are these the right lottery numbers? Meaning what he meant obviously was like, are these the latest lottery numbers? And there's the date is written right there. It would say, like, in other words, June 27th, last night's number was 626. All right. Pretty cut and dry, but this guy, he says, are these the right lottery numbers? And my brother Mike says, no, sir, those are the incorrect lottery numbers. The right lottery numbers are hanging up at the back of the store. And this guy started walking back there. It's just like, how stupid are you? It's just like,
well, I used to work at my dad and my dad and my 2 uncles started an auto repair business back in, like I said, late 60s, early 70s. And we used to all work there. Me, the Jimmy, Mike, and all. And then afterwards, my dad and my uncle Leonard got out. So it was just Tony and Jimmy and Mike were kind of running the place. So from time to time when I was between jobs, I would go back there and work. So I was always the gas pumper, and then I would come in and do mechanical work sometimes too. So I'd be in there one time, and I was pumping gas. I forget what I was doing. I was grease up to my elbows. It's hot. I'm sweaty. And there's Jimmy, standing out there just talking with his hands in his pockets, playing with himself. And all of a sudden, like if somebody would pull up, he'd look, and if it wasn't a hot-looking girl, he would go, what up? You hear the bell, ding, ding. He'd look, what up? So I had my wrenches over my head or something. I was doing something. I just let them drop I just let my hands go. I just let them drop, and they hit, ting, bang,
clang, clang, clang.
Right, and I go, don't worry, anybody, don't move. I got it. And I'd wipe my hands off, and I'd go out there. So then, Ding, ding. Look, and here comes this hot blonde pulling up. Well, Jimmy's like, I got it. Your ass, you got it. I got it. If I'm going to wait on everybody, them, I'm waiting on these two, too.
Going to make it worth my while. Well, that's funny that you should bring that up because anything else you have to add about the...
No, go ahead. My rant's over.
You feel better now?
No.
Was it a catharsis?
No, I feel worse.
No, I'm right with you there, Guy. The spending in this state is incredible, and there's, they just never stop.
I know exactly what I want you to do. I want you to put when we do your artwork, I want a guy bent over a chair, and then he's going to be a taxpayer, and then behind him is the tax man, and he's going to be giving him the business end of a broomstick, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It feels like prison rape. But
Okay.
the name of this episode is The Tax Man.
The tax man cometh.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Brand X Podcast. We would love to know what you think about all this stuff, and we're easy to contact on social media. You can go over to the brandxpodcast.com/contact. It'll give you our information from there. And also, if you just want to send us an email, it's at hello@brandxpodcast.com. All right. Next week, the what? 16?
The Sweet
16.
Sweet
16. Yeah, baby.
That's it. We're just getting into it.